What if the single biggest threat to your independence isn't a fall, but the fear of one? It sounds strange, but recent research from the National Institutes of Health is confirming this. They found that for many, the constant low-grade anxiety about losing their footing can actually shrink a person's world faster and more dramatically than an actual injury. It quietly convinces you to say no to things you love. It's a slow, creeping retreat from life. One future is a world that gets smaller every day, where you're constantly scanning the ground, avoiding uneven surfaces, and turning down invitations. The other is a future where you can stride confidently across a lawn to hug a grandchild, navigate a crowded farmer's market without a second thought, and step off a curb without your heart jumping into your throat. The difference between those two futures isn't about brute strength or endless grueling workouts. It's about reawakening a few forgotten connections between your brain and your body. We're going to walk through some incredibly simple things you can start doing right in your own kitchen, but you have to stick with me. The most critical piece of this puzzle, the one that acts like a master switch for your entire balance system, is something most people never hear about. It has nothing to do with how strong your legs are, and without it, everything else is 10 times harder. I'm going to reveal exactly what it is and how to use it later on, and it will change how you think about balance forever. That little wobble, we all know it. You're reaching for the good olive oil on the top shelf, stretching just an inch too far. Or you're walking on the grass at a park and your foot finds a dip you didn't see. Maybe you just turn your head too quickly to answer a question. For a fraction of a second, the world lurches. Your stomach does that sickening flip, that zero-gravity feeling you get on an old wooden roller coaster. Your breath catches in your throat, a sharp little gasp. An arm shoots out completely on its own, hunting for something to grab onto, a countertop, a doorway, the sleeve of the person next to you. It's a primal, lightning-fast reaction. It's over in an instant. You catch yourself. Your heart might be hammering against your ribs, a little burst of adrenaline making your hands feel tingly. You take a deep, shaky breath, and then you dismiss it. Oops, clumsy me. Or, wow, almost went for a trip there. We laugh it off, maybe feel a hot flush of embarrassment, and we move on with our day. But that split-second stumble is your body sending up a flare. It's a quiet, polite, but urgent signal that one of its systems is a little out of tune. Think of it as the check engine light on your car's dashboard. You can put a piece of tape over it and keep driving, but the underlying issue is still there. Ignoring it doesn't make it go away. We ignore it because it's frightening to think about the alternative, or because we feel silly for being unsteady. But that signal isn't a sign of failure. It's a gift. It's an early warning. It's a precious opportunity to listen to what your body is trying to tell you, long before it has to shout. Try. Right now, think back to the last time that happened. That tiny moment of panic, the electric jolt of fear. Don't just remember the physical stumble. Try to recall the feeling that came immediately after. Was it annoyance at yourself? A flash of real fear about what could have happened? A little bit of shame, hoping no one saw? Acknowledge that feeling. We're going to understand what that signal truly means and how to make that feeling a very, very rare visitor in your life. This is about so much more than just avoiding a broken bone or a trip to the emergency room. That's obviously a huge piece of the puzzle, and a vital one. But the real reason we're talking, the true prize we're aiming for, is much, much bigger. It's about the size and the richness of your life. A quiet erosion of balance makes your world smaller, not all at once, but one tiny, almost invisible decision at a time. It starts subtly. You decline an invitation to go for a walk on the beach because the shifting sand feels treacherous. You stop going to that lovely little bookstore downtown because it has a high, worn step at the entrance that always makes you pause. You find yourself automatically reaching for the handrail on stairs you've climbed 1,000 times. Before you know it, you're walking around the edge of the living room, keeping a hand near the furniture instead of cutting straight across the open floor. Your brain is creating a safe zone, and that zone gets smaller and smaller over time. This is about fighting back. This is about reclaiming that territory. It's about feeling confident enough to walk across an uneven lawn at a family picnic to join the conversation instead of feeling marooned on the paved patio. It's about carrying a laundry basket down the stairs without holding your breath and gripping the rail. It's about being able to get in and out of the shower, step into a boat, or walk through a dimly lit movie theater to your seat, all without that nagging little voice of doubt in the back of your mind. This is about defending your freedom. The freedom to say yes to spontaneous opportunities, not "I better not, just in case." It's the freedom from the mental chore of constantly scanning the ground ahead of you for cracks and bumps. It's the freedom from that quiet, persistent fear. Try. Picture one specific, simple activity you'd do more of if you felt just 10% steadier on your feet. Don't make it a huge goal like climbing a mountain. Make it small and real. Maybe it's kneeling in the garden. Maybe it's carrying your own suitcase through an airport. Close your eyes and truly build the scene in your mind. What are you wearing? Who are you with? What does the air feel like? Hold on to that image. That feeling of ease and confidence is our destination. That's what we are fighting for. We all know strong legs are important. Doctors, trainers, magazines, they all talk about quads and hamstrings. But there's a hidden muscle, a true unsung hero of stability that is absolutely essential for balance, and most people have never even heard of it, let alone thought about training it. It's on the side of your hip. The technical name is the gluteus medius, but let's just call it your side butt muscle. It's not the big, meaty muscle you sit on. That's the gluteus maximus. This one is higher up and on the outside, fanning out from your hip bone. Its number one job is to keep you from tipping over sideways. Every single time you take a step, for the split second that you are on one leg, this muscle fires like crazy to keep your pelvis stable and level. Think of it like the rigging on a tall sailing ship's mast. Without those ropes pulling from the side, the first strong crosswind would just tip the mast right over. Your side butt muscle is the rigging for your torso. An even better analogy is to imagine you're a waiter carrying a heavy tray of drinks on one hand, high above your shoulder. Your side butt muscle is what keeps that tray perfectly level. When that muscle gets weak, which it does from years of sitting in chairs and mostly just walking in straight lines, your pelvis becomes that wobbly, unstable tray. Every step is a chance to spill the drinks. That little hip drop you sometimes see when someone walks, that's this muscle sleeping on the job. A 2018 study in the journal Gait and Posture directly linked weakness in this specific muscle to an increased risk of falls in older adults. It's not an opinion, it's a mechanical fact. Try. Stand up and find the bony point of your hip on the side. Now slide your fingers down and back an inch or two into the fleshy part. Now, keeping your body upright, shift all your weight onto that leg and just lift your other foot an inch off the ground. Feel that muscle pop out and get hard as a rock under your fingers? That's the one. That's your personal stabilizer. We just need to wake it up and remind it of its job. Your brain has an extraordinary built-in map of your body in three-dimensional space. It's a kind of internal GPS, and scientists call it proprioception. It's the sense that tells you where your arm is even when your eyes are closed. This system gets constant lightning-fast updates from millions of tiny sensory receptors embedded in your muscles, tendons, and joints. They're like microscopic motion detectors. The highest, densest concentration of these sensors is in the soles of your feet and in the complex joints of your ankles. They are constantly streaming information to your brain, telling it, the ground is soft here, we're tilting 2 degrees to the left, the pressure is now on the outside edge of the foot. It's a massive, non-stop flow of data. As we get older, and especially as we get less active or start wearing thickly cushioned shoes all the time, the signal from these sensors can get a little fuzzy. The communication line to the brain develops static. Imagine trying to listen to your favorite song on an old AM radio in a thunderstorm. You can kind of hear the melody, but it's constantly interrupted by crackles and hisses. The brain isn't getting a clear, high-definition picture of where the body is, so its reactions are a little bit slow, a little bit clumsy. That's where the unexpected wobbles come from. Your brain is trying to correct a problem based on delayed, corrupted data. The wobble isn't the problem itself, it's your brain's lagging solution to the problem. The wonderful news is that we can clear up that static. You can literally retrain this system, polishing the connection and turning up the volume on that signal just by creating situations where your brain is forced to pay closer attention. Try. Stand next to a wall or a sturdy kitchen counter, with your fingertips just resting on it for support. Now close your eyes for just 3 seconds. Feel what happens instantly? Your feet and ankles suddenly come alive, making thousands of tiny, rapid adjustments. That's your body GPS frantically working to find a clear signal without any help from your eyes. You just gave that entire neural pathway a powerful workout. Before we do a single movement, we have to get the environment right. This whole process is about building confidence, not about taking foolish risks. We need to create a space that feels and actually is completely safe. This is non-negotiable. When you remove fear from the equation, you allow your brain to relax and actually learn the new skill instead of being stuck in a state of high alert. First, find a solid, immovable surface for support. A kitchen counter is perfect. It's at the right height and it's bolted to the wall. The back of a heavy, sturdy sofa or a solid wall also works. What you cannot use is a wobbly dining chair, a rolling office chair, or a lightweight walker. Your brain needs to focus all its attention on balancing you, not on balancing the unstable thing you're holding on to. First, check the floor. If you can, get off of plush, squishy carpets. That soft, yielding surface is a balance nightmare. It acts like a giant sponge, muffling the delicate signals from the millions of sensors in your feet. It's like trying to read a map through a frosted window. Your body GPS can't get clear information. Practice on a hard, flat floor. Wood, tile, or firm linoleum is ideal. This gives your feet a clear, reliable surface to read. Finally, let's talk about your feet. If you're comfortable and it's safe in your home, go barefoot. This is the gold standard. You need to let your feet feel the ground. You want to awaken all those sleepy sensors. If you can't go barefoot, wear the thinnest, flattest, most flexible, non-slip shoes you own. Thick, cushioned running sneakers are like trying to read Braille while wearing thick winter gloves. You lose all the subtle, crucial details from the ground. This isn't about being a hero. Have your support right there. The goal is not to avoid using it. The goal is to feel so secure that you are willing to challenge yourself just a tiny bit. Try. Go to your chosen safe zone right now. Plant your feet on the hard floor, rest your fingers lightly on the solid counter. Take one deep breath in and let it out slowly. Say to yourself, either out loud or in your head, "This is my training space. I am safe here. I am in control." This simple ritual primes your brain for learning and builds a foundation of psychological safety. All right, let's start moving. But first, a crucial reminder. Please talk to a clinician if you have any pre-existing heart, balance, or serious joint issues. Your safety is always priority number 1. And if you feel any sharp pain at any point, stop immediately. We're starting incredibly slow, like easing a car out of a very tight parking spot. These first movements are all about re-establishing clear communication between your feet and your brain. Step 1 is the slow-motion weight shift. Stand with your feet about hip-width apart, lightly touching your counter for support. Keep your feet flat on the floor the entire time. Now, as slowly and smoothly as you can, begin to rock your weight over to your left foot. Feel the pressure build along the sole of that foot. Hold it there for a breath. Then, just as slowly, rock your weight back across to your right foot. Imagine you're a tall tree swaying in a very gentle breeze. The goal here is slowness and control, not how far you can lean. This simple act forces your brain to pay attention to the changing pressure signals from your feet. Do this 5 or 6 times to each side. Step 2 is the controlled calf raise. Stand in that same starting position. Now, pressing evenly through the balls of both feet, slowly rise up onto your dip toes. Hold for just a single calm breath at the top. Now, for the most important part, lower your heels back down to the floor with deliberate control. Imagine you're lowering a precious, fragile glass onto a shelf. Don't just drop or plop down. The controlled lowering phase, the negative part of the movement, is where you build immense strength and stability in your ankles. These moves don't look like much, but they are sending a direct wake-up call to all those little nerves and muscles in your feet, ankles, and lower legs. They're forcing your brain and your feet to start having a clear conversation again, blowing the static off the line. Try. As you perform the slow-motion weight shift, try closing your eyes for a second or two as your weight moves from one side to the other. Can you feel the exact moment the pressure leaves the first foot and arrives on the second? Pinpointing that sensation without your eyes to help you deepens that mind-body connection profoundly. Ready to take the next tiny step? Remember, keep that sturdy support handy and stop if you feel any pain. The objective here is to introduce a gentle, controlled challenge, not to create strain or fear. Step 3 is the heel lift. Shift your weight fully onto one leg. Let's say it's your right leg. Before you do anything else, feel your side butt muscle on that right side engage and get firm. That's your foundation. Now, without moving your hips or leaning your upper body, just lift the heel of your left foot off the floor. Your left toes stay right on the ground, acting like a little kickstand on a bicycle. They're providing a tiny bit of extra stability. Hold it there. Can you feel that side butt muscle on your standing right leg working hard to keep your hips perfectly level? That's it. That's the feeling we want. Then lower the heel with control and switch to the other side. This isolates that key hip stabilizer. Step 4 is the toe tap. Only when you feel completely steady with the heel lift are you ready to try this. Get into your heel lift position. Weight on your right leg, left heel up. Now, see if you can lift the toes of your left foot just a millimeter off the floor. Then immediately and gently place them back down. It's a quick tap, not a prolonged lift. Up, down. The purpose isn't to hold your leg in the air for ages. The purpose is to experience that split second of instability as the kickstand is removed, and then actively use your hip and ankle muscles to control it. You're practicing the recovery from a wobble in a completely safe, predictable way. You are teaching your body how to save yourself. Try. When you practice the toe tap, see how quietly you can place your foot back on the ground. The first few times, it might make a soft thud. Your goal is to make it completely silent, as if you're a cat stepping onto a creaky floorboard. That level of quiet requires an immense amount of muscular control, and it's an excellent way to refine the skill. Now we arrive at what might be the single most powerful, game-changing tip of all. This is the master switch I mentioned earlier, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your muscles. It's all about your eyes. Your balance system is inextricably linked to your visual system. It's a hardwired, unbreakable rule of your nervous system. Where you look, your body will try to go. If you look down at your feet to check if they're wobbling, you are sending a direct command to your brain, focus on movement and instability. And guess what? You will wobble more. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If your eyes are darting nervously around the room, your body will feel unsettled and chaotic because your brain is being fed chaotic, shifting input. Think of a figure skater performing a spin. They don't look at their skates, they spot. They fix their gaze on one single, unmoving point in the distance. As their body spins, their head whips around to find that same spot again and again. This is what keeps them oriented and prevents dizziness. We can use the exact same neurological trick. Here's what you do. Before you even start a balance exercise, pick a spot on the wall in front of you, directly at your natural eye level. It could be a light switch, the corner of a picture frame, a tiny speck on the wall, anything that will not move. Don't stare at it with a hard, intense, straining focus. Just rest your gaze there softly. Let it be your visual anchor. A steady, calm gaze sends a powerful signal to the vestibular system in your inner ear and to your brain that says, everything is stable, the world is not moving, we are safe. This one tiny adjustment makes every single balance exercise dramatically easier and more effective. Research from the University of British Columbia has shown that providing a stable visual target can improve postural stability in older adults by over 30%. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. Try. Stand on one leg while holding your support. First, deliberately let your eyes wander around the room. Look up at the ceiling, down at the floor, to the left, to the right. Really feel the constant chattering adjustments your ankle has to make. Feel the instability. Now reset. Find your anchor spot on the wall and fix your soft gaze there. Do the same one-legged stance. Feel how much calmer, quieter, and more solid your entire body becomes. It's like dropping an anchor in a choppy sea. This is a game changer. Life doesn't happen in a perfectly still, controlled environment. You don't lose your balance when you're standing motionless in your kitchen. It happens when you turn to grab the milk from the fridge or when you're walking and you look over your shoulder because someone called your name. We need to practice for the dynamic reality of life, but we'll do it from within our safe zone. Only attempt these when you feel very stable with the basics, always use your support, and stop if there's any pain. Step 6 is the head turn. While balancing on one leg, using either the heel lift or the toe tap for stability, with your hand on the counter, find your visual enter spot on the wall. Now, keeping your body still, slowly and smoothly turn your head to the left. Then bring it back to your anchor in the center. Then slowly turn your head to look to the right. Your support is there if you need it. As you turn your head, you are temporarily taking your eyes off your anchor. This forces your body GPS, all those sensors in your feet and ankles, and the vestibular system in your inner ear to work much harder. It can no longer rely on your eyes for stability. You are specifically targeting and strengthening these other systems. Step 7 is the arm reach. Get your balance, find your spot on the wall. Now, with your free arm, slowly reach straight out in front of you as if you're pointing at your anchor spot. Then, slowly lower it back down to your side. Reaching your arm forward, even without holding any weight, ever so slightly changes your center of gravity, pulling it forward. You'll feel the muscles in your standing hip, your core, and your ankle immediately fire up to counteract that forward pull and keep you upright. These small, controlled movements introduce a tiny bit of chaos into the system, forcing your stabilizer muscles to make thousands of tiny, rapid adjustments. This is real-world training, preparing your body for the unpredictability of daily life. Try. While you're performing the head turns, place your other hand on the side butt muscle of your standing hip. As you turn your head, you will feel all those little muscles chattering, twitching, and firing under your fingers to keep you upright. That's your body getting smarter, faster, and more resilient in real time. I want you to forget everything you've ever heard or thought about trying to stand on one leg for a minute, or 2 minutes, or for as long as you can. For most of us starting out, that is a terrible goal. It almost always leads to a long, sloppy, frustrating struggle. Your body is tense, your ankle is shaking violently, you're gripping your support for dear life, and you end the attempt feeling like a failure. That kind of practice actually does more harm than good, because what you are actively training your brain and your muscles to be good at is wobbling. Your brain learns best in short, perfect, successful repetitions. So from now on, here is the new rule. Aim for a solid, controlled, perfect 3-second hold. That is it. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Then put your foot down with control, reset completely, shake out your leg, and do it again. 5 perfect, rock-solid 3-second holds are 1,000 times better for your brain than one messy, shaky 30-second struggle. Quality over quantity, always. You are not training for endurance here. You are training your nervous system. You are teaching your brain and muscles to create a crisp, clear, high-definition memory of what stable feels like. Each perfect 3-second hold is like saving a file to your brain's hard drive, labeled, "This is what solid balance feels like. Do this." A long shaky hold just saves a corrupted, messy file labeled, "This is what struggling feels like." We want to practice success, not practice wobbling. Try. As you hold your balance, count it out loudly, slowly, and calmly. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Then reset. Counting out loud does two things. It prevents you from rushing, and it forces you to breathe. Many people hold their breath when they concentrate, which tenses the body and actually hurts balance. Breathe out as you count. A calm breath leads to a calm body. Please listen to this because it's the most important mindset shift you can make. Your body has not forgotten how to be balanced. Balance is not a memory that you have lost forever, like a misplaced set of keys that might never be found. It is a skill, and like any skill, the connection has just gotten a little rusty from lack of specific use. Think of it like playing the piano after 20 years away, or trying to ride a bicycle. The ability is still there, stored deep in your nervous system. You can absolutely get it back with a little bit of consistent, gentle, and intelligent practice. This is a crucial distinction. A lost memory feels hopeless. A rusty skill feels hopeful. You know the blueprint is there. You just need to polish it up. This is not about adding another hour-long, exhausting workout to your already busy day. That's not realistic, and it's not even necessary. The secret is to weave these balance snacks into the life you are already living. Find those little pockets of otherwise dead time. While you're waiting for the kettle to boil or for the microwave to finish, do a few slow-motion weight shifts. While you're brushing your teeth, stand with one hand on the sink and do a few controlled calf raises. While you're talking on the phone, stand near a wall and practice your perfect 3-second holds. These tiny 2-minute practices sprinkled throughout your day are far more effective than one big, dreaded session once a week because they keep the neural pathways active. They all add up. And please, remember that some days will feel more wobbly than others. That's completely normal. It doesn't mean you're going backwards. It can be affected by sleep, stress, or a dozen other things. The goal isn't perfection. It is consistent, gentle practice. You are not passively losing something to age. You are actively, powerfully regaining a skill. You have complete control over this process. You've got this. Try. Pick one single daily habit that you already do without fail. Making your morning coffee, washing your hands before a meal, turning on the nightly news. Make that your trigger. Every single time you do that one thing, you will also do 3 perfect 3-second holds on each leg. That's it. That is how you build a powerful, automatic, life-changing new habit.